I now look to Mitchell Garabedian to continue the case for the proposition.
Thank you for the Oxford Union Society for having me. I appreciate it. Let's look at the evil. A woman comes to me. She says, my son was sexually abused by a priest, and his 3 friends were sexually abused by a priest, a Catholic priest. My son committed suicide before age 20. And I sought out those 3 friends, and they all committed suicide. She thinks they were all sexually abused. How do you repay that? Never in my life, and I've represented thousands of victims of clergy sexual abuse, have I seen so many 11 and 12 and 13-year-old alcoholics and drug addicts. As soon as they're abused, they have a loss of self-esteem, self-respect, anxiety, frustration. They cannot heal. They cannot gain a degree of closure. They put cigarette butts out on their arms constantly, slice their arms. They're trying to transfer the pain. How do you repay that? You can't repay that with money. You've stolen their souls. Some have committed suicide, as I've stated earlier. You've taken their religion. The religion belongs to the parishioners. It doesn't belong to the Catholic Church hierarchy, who are, by the way, part of the cover-up if they're not sexually abusing. Cardinal McCarrick, Cardinal Pell, who was discussed earlier, leaders of the Catholic Church. Secrecy is part of that evil, and that secrecy has not ended. The Catholic Church cannot pay for its sins. When the little boy is sexually abused, he's told by the priest, commonly, if you tell anybody, your mother will burn in hell, your parents will get divorced, your life will be in shambles, your older brother will die. And when that happens 20 or 30 or 40 years later, that victim who is still carrying that pain, blames himself when his older brother dies, when his parents get divorced, or his life is in shambles. The victim believes that they have let God down because they did not enjoy the sex. And they carry that the rest of their lives. The secrecy has to end. When the mother reports the abuse to the Monsignor at the church or the pastor, the Monsignor and the pastor, and they still do it now, it hasn't changed, say, you have to protect the reputation of the church, don't tell anyone. And if you look at canon law, if you read canon law states, sexual abuse cases, when looked into, shall be kept secret. Mention Chile. Pope Francis, in an October 15, 2018 New York Times article, didn't know he was being recorded on an iPhone on an airplane, and he was calling protesters against a bishop who was complicit in the Chilean scandal dummies. Read that article. He didn't know he was being recorded. What has happened lately? The secrecy continues. Where is the transparency? You take away their robes, take away their religion. They're just criminals. They belong in jail. If it was any of us, we'd belong in jail, but they're using the facade of religion. Why aren't they producing the documents? In Boston, they tried to bury me. They tried to bury me financially, reputation-wise. They tried to take my license away in Boston. After 3.5 years, we were able to get to what's known as the secret files. And in the secret files, Bernard Cardinal Law, and every diocese and archdiocese has them, was the evidence that he knew Father John J. Gagan was a sexual abuser, yet he transferred him to another parish and did not warn parishioners. They don't care. They only care about money. Here I am, 153 victims of Father John J. Gagan later. I represent victims from 14 different countries. Thousands of victims. In 2002, the National Catholic Conference of Bishops in the United States said, these are our norms we're going to put in place for the safety and protection of children. Whoopee. I represent 133 victims. I recently settled their cases who were sexually abused in Haiti, not by a priest, but it was at a Jesuit-run school, Order of Malta, Fairfield University, Society of Jesus, and most of those children, over 100 of them, were sexually abused after 2002. They didn't have any food, they didn't have any clothing, they didn't have any shelter, they had malaria, they had inexplicable lumps on their arms, but they couldn't get any medicine. I went to federal court in Connecticut last year to get emergency relief for some of these kids because of the floods in Haiti. And the Catholic Church lawyers stood up in court and said, no, we oppose it. Our clients want us to oppose it. We do good things for the people in Haiti. Oh yeah? How about letting me give my clients some food? They're street children. Why did they have this summit? Well, it was an awareness conference. Who needs an awareness conference? Is there anybody in this room that doesn't know that sexually abusing innocent children is wrong? There's no need for an awareness conference. We need concrete action, but the criminals won't give us concrete action. They've shown time and time again they can't self-police. Why would you trust anything they state? Anything at all? People come to me shocked that the priest stole money. I'm saying, well, you know, they're sexual abusers and enabler sexual abusers. Why would you be shocked if they stole money? They're just using the guise of religion. They're hurting victims from healing. They're preventing victims from trying to heal. They're hurting parishioners. Parishioners come up to me constantly saying, you have to do something. They have to change. Stop the wholesale rape of our society. The church does not belong to these criminals. And this action is not about religion. It's about human decency. As I said earlier, take away their religion, take away their clothing, and they're just a bunch of criminals. Pope Benedict, the Pope before Pope Francis, was the head of the Congregation of the Doctrine of the Faith for over 15 years, and that investigated crimes of sexual abuse. Then he became Pope. Thank you.